Direct.
Yeah, respect for coming in, Andrew. I
Yo,
appreciate
man.
that, man. Been
It's an
done.
honor, you know. My first guest.
Yeah. My co-host Ras couldn't be here because in Jamaica, the term would say, Ras upon the slave.
Listen,
Ras?
I get it.
Yeah,
Must
yeah,
work.
yeah. Yeah, he's got to do stuff. Yeah. I'm glad you're able to come in because you and I have been talking for a while about the setup. So what do you think about the setup, man?
It is gorgeous. Wow, this is beautiful. I mean, you did work, Pete. I mean, this is you. You put in work here. I mean, everything is so tight. Beautiful space.
Yeah, and at some point, you know, as we've been talking about, we're going to try and get you coming with your drum set and, you know, we'll play something together. So we may have to move a few things around, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I got that electronic drum set too, the Roland V drums.
Yeah.
we could be in headphones for those too.
Yeah.
Not disturb any of the neighbors.
No. Well, that's why this location, you know, this section was built a little distant from the home, so it wouldn't disturb the family. You know what I
Right.
mean? So we could have stuff, you know, work hard stuff any time of the night or day. You know what I'm saying?
That's the problem with drums. You know,
Yeah.
they wake everybody up.
Oh boy, the people have to get used to that now, man. I always say, man. But yeah, man, thanks for being the first official guest.
It's an honor.
You know, on the program, and I know you've been playing music for quite a while.
Yeah.
Reggae is also in your DNA. I mean, even your brother, you tell me one of your brothers actually work with a famous Jamaican artist. You want to tell us a little about that?
Yeah. My older brother Richie wrote a song and had the honor of having Capleton sing upon it, and
Yeah.
they did a video, and they were on Bobby
Bobby
Condas
Condas.
and Jabba.
Yeah.
I remember sitting recording it on a cassette tape at the time. I have it somewhere in my house. But,
Yeah. How long ago was this?
This had to be like 2004-ish.
Yeah.
2003, 2004-ish, around there.
Oh, that's quite a while, man.
And
yeah.
he had a good run.
Yeah.
And you know, it's like anything else. It's like in the music business, it's
Yeah.
who you know, when you know them,
Right.
what time you know them. And
Right. So is your brother still involved in music?
Yeah, he does stuff. You know, he's a DJ now.
Oh, okay.
Shout out Richie.
Okay. Maybe we should get him on the program one time. You know, when you come back the next time, you bring him along with you.
Absolutely, man. Yo, he's a lot of the reason why you know, I have the musical ear I do.
Yeah.
Especially when we go out to dancehall, hip hop. You know,
Yeah.
all of that was you know, as a drummer though too. Like I had so many influences, jazz, the classical,
Right.
and he brought that element in. So
Right,
you know,
right,
he definitely
right.
definitely wanted to have a lot to say on this cast. For
So,
sure.
what are some of the Jamaican artists that you actually listen to a lot? Some of the music.
growing up, I mean, Super Cat.
Oh yeah,
Wild
yeah.
Apache for sure.
Yeah.
That's why when you guys that podcast that what was it, episode 1
Right.
with the top
The
5.
top 5, yeah. That for all
I
the
think I
time.
commented something like, you know, this list could go on for
Oh, yeah,
days.
yeah.
'Cause, you know, Capleton, but you know, who could you remove out of the 5 you guys named?
Right. Well, as you could
Nobody.
see,
I mean-
as you could see, Russ, as his my co-host, he has his own list in mind, you know, artists that he likes in mind.
Yeah.
But then again, like I say, it's just a matter of opinion. But we that list was comprised by that custom GPT that I built called Jamaican Things. Remember?
Right.
But
It
even,
wasn't wrong. I mean, Yellow Man, you know,
Well,
you can't argue
and
that.
he's the foundation, right?
Yeah.
A lot of the young folks couldn't relate to the Yellow Man. They're like, even one of my kids was saying, "Yellow, who's Yellow Man?" You know what I mean? Like, you know, well, that's before their time, so they have no idea.
Yeah.
But you know, yes, Yellow Man was actually
Shaba, you know,
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I saw this video once. It was like kids. I think they were in a school in the Bronx or somewhere in one of the 5 boroughs.
Yeah.
Kids walking up into high school to their teachers, going, "Yo, Mr. Johnson, ting-a-ling-a-ling." And then like
Right.
some of them were like school bell ring, and then and went right into the to the lyric.
that's
some of them
interesting.
didn't know what they were talking about.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
It's funny. Just Shaba definitely belongs there. I think he's
I tell you.
multi-generational. you know?
I tell you. Yeah, so and it's a funny because when the list was comprised, I looked at it and I'm like, that's interesting. You know, but you know, as far as the list is concerned, like I said before, I mean, everybody would have their own spin in it. Just like with it in hip hop, you know, you never find everyone agree with the list. You know what I mean? So
Right. And you know, and music is, you know, it's one of those weird things that it's like it's personal. You know,
Right.
like so like you're saying, like where you grew up,
Right,
maybe
right.
it was this artist, or
Right.
where, you know, across the street, maybe they like that artist.
Right.
And that's all genres. You know,
Right, 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 right. So what are you listening to any other younger reggae artists? No, are you don't have time for that now?
You
Because
know,
I know you're busy.
I think I've become like a salty old man now,
Yes, yeah,
Pete.
I hear you. I hear you.
I have this. Well, I listen to new music, but I heard an MC I respect, a hip hop MC, Rakim,
Rakim, okay, okay.
talking about new hip hop music, and he was
Oh,
like, he said something to the. I'm not going to quote him properly, but he
yeah.
said something to the effect of like, it's music not written for me. He's like, I'm an older man. They're
Oh,
writing
yeah.
it for
Right, right,
the
right.
20-year-old guy. You
Right,
know what
right,
I mean?
right,
So
right.
it would be weird if I,
Right,
you
right,
know,
right, right. Yeah, yeah.
but I can respect some. There were definitely joints where I'll listen to them and be
Right.
like, oh, that was
Right,
fire.
right, 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 right,
But
right.
you know, am I going out and seeking out
Right,
new
right, right,
music?
right.
I'm just not lately.
Right,
I
right.
don't know. I like my stuff.
Yeah, yeah, for me, like I said, when I just listen to the radio station and, I listen back and forth the current stuff here in the US, and I listen to the Jamaican radio station, even though I live here, and and even on YouTube, so I get a sense of even though I can't keep up because there's a lot of up and new artists in the dancehall space in Jamaica, So I'm even Russ, my co-host, is more familiar with a lot more of them because he's in the streets actually,
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it is a lot. And I'm kind of the whole school kind of setup too, and I like the whole stuff. But the new ones, I do appreciate
There are
appreciate
some.
it too.
That's what I'm saying. There are some artists that every once in a while I'm like, oh wow, that
Yeah,
was that's somebody to pay attention to. Or that's that joint was.
yeah. For example, there's this artist named Massacre that we is the number two on our top five current dancer list, and I was telling Russ that after listening to his stuff, I just get a sense, like I was saying in that episode two. I'm not an expert. I can't make any prediction, but I can see where this artist gonna project. Just the confidence when you listen to his stuff. I say, man, this guy's like is an old soul. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, man.
you ever get that sense of some artists? Yeah.
I think that thing is honesty. You
Yeah.
know, when an artist is singing
Right.
from here,
Right,
you know what I
right,
mean?
right, right.
And I think that's where some artists fail.
Right. Right. Right.
Like later on, once they got the money,
Right, right,
and
right,
they
right.
got the house and the
Right.
yacht,
Right. 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 Right.
then they don't have that hunger no more.
Right, right,
Like,
right,
it's
right,
like
right.
that early on thing when you're struggling.
That hunger. Right. Right.
that writes that tune
Yeah.
that translates to everybody's ear.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah. Yeah, it's a funny in my culture. A lot of times, like the whole artist sometimes get a little jittery about the newcomer artists, and because they seem to get in more airtime and more space and more whatever. But when they used, it's like I could see why they're complaining, but in a sense, you have to give the new artists grace to to create their setup
absolutely.
too. You know what I mean? Because we get hold on. Oh, they shouldn't say that. They should. You can't like what do you call it? I wouldn't call it not stereotype. What a word I'm trying to find again? Like put them in a box where they can and cannot say. Get them. You gotta give them some grace.
And that's the thing. Like that goes back to what I was saying before. Like you age out
Right.
of that creative thing at some point. Like, well, not that you completely age out, but it's not going to be as familiar to you as it was when you were in your 20s and 30s and 40s. Like, you know what I
Right,
mean? As
right,
you start to get older,
Right.
you get locked into like, well, our way was better.
Right.
Like,
Right.
like, but if it weren't for those new jacks
Right.
continuing the engine,
Right.
then this thing would,
Right.
music would cease to exist. But
Well, it's-
thank God it don't.
Yeah, another thing we've been noticing a lot now, because I'm sure you're aware that Cartel that was incarcerated is now released, and now it seems, in my opinion, that there are a lot more stage shows now. Seem to be a lot more, and a lot of even artists that wasn't working seem to be getting more work, and I kind of like that too. Because for some reason I thought reggae would be at a certain level where, it's so funny that I talk about that. Let me switch it up a little bit now. Growing up in Jamaica, rock music was like here, like even my friends work really appreciate it. And for some reason, rock is not where it used to be in anymore. I'm like, what happened to that? Because they say hip hop is the most, I think, the popular genre now. You aware of that?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
That part I find, so I'm like, wow. So I know, well, hip hop is there. I mean, reggae is, I'm not sure where reggae is, but rock itself too. I'm like, it's like that part a little disappointing because I'm not hearing a lot of the, how you call it? Even on the maybe it's the radio station I listen to. Maybe I think that's what it is. That could be the reason, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, the other thing is you're right though. Like back in the 70s and 60s, you had that like climb, the height of that.
Right, right.
Bands like Led Zeppelin and
Right.
and the Beatles,
Right,
and the
right.
Rolling Stones, and these groups that are timeless.
Right.
They had their time. And in the 80s and 90s, I feel like
right.
hip hop took over, and
Right.
there's a ebb and flow to it all. I think I don't know. Like I haven't seen. You're right though. I haven't seen a good rock band in a long time. But I don't know. I think the way we structure music now is weird. Meaning, like in the past, we're in a band. We'd write some music. We go into the studio, pay for the time, record our music, get it mixed, mastered, distributed,
Right.
sell it out of the back of our cars or whatever we had to do to make a time, right? If you got lucky enough and got a deal, then you get money off of that.
Right.
Nowadays, people are buying music a la carte. You buy a song for $1.29.
Right.
And the artist, or the artist is getting paid on a streaming deal. And what are you really seeing compared to what?
Yeah.
So there's,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And okay, I'm going to switch it up again now. So another switch now we're going to talk about Andrews. Years ago, right? Someone wants people do whatever they could to get a record deal, right? But look how things change now. Now, an art, someone coming up now don't necessarily have to, try to approach a record label. They could get their social media going, get their followers, and now the major label trying to come to them now. Look, talk about that part of it now.
Tail wagging the dog.
I'm like, wow, look what gone back in the day. So sometimes I wonder what's going to become of the record labels now.
Yeah, well, what's going to become of music? I've heard stories of people using AI to create songs.
Right.
Here's a bunch of lyrics about, I had a heartbreak. I lost my girlfriend.
Right.
She broke my heart.
Right.
I wrote it a bunch of words and make a song for me, and it'll pump out a song. I've heard stories of people taking these songs putting them on streaming services and getting paid.
Wow. Yeah, I think I've heard of that. It's a funny.
I mean, at what point?
Yeah.
At what point is the musician going to be out of work?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's actually, I never thought about that part. If the musician's going to be
If I could just go make me a country song, make me a hip hop song, make me a disco song.
Well, I think the technology is going to get even better because I've been messing with AI for a minute, and I even make custom GPTs too. But I remember Ross, my co-host, had sent me a song a few months ago, I believe, and said, "Pete, listen to this." And I listened to them, so I said, "I use this AI setup to create it." I'm like, I was impressed. I think I played it for you too.
Yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
And then I said, and then I went home, and then I actually went on the app, and I think I paid a subscription $10 a month to access it because I didn't want just the free version. I don't mind paying for things if I find value. I don't have any problem with that.
Sure.
And sure enough, I did create some reggae stuff. I think even for the intro that I'm singing, that's that. I put in some of the lyrics, and it put the rest in. I just put in the hook that I thought getting money all day, something like that. We outside, something like that. And it took care of the rest, and I was impressed. And I did say, I think I told it the type of beat I want, and it came with I did say on sections too, and it's mind blowing. So you're right about that. It's
scary from a musician's point of view. Now, that's not the way I make all my bread and butter now.
Right.
My work is my work. But I still play music here and there. But if it were the way I made, I mean, there's always going to be live performance. There's always going to be, the Broadway show.
That's not going anywhere.
Right. That kind of performance is always going to exist. Like those kind of things.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like when my teacher, this is 20, 30 years ago when I was a little guy learning drums, my teacher would tell me about remember when the Casio keyboard? You could put samba on, and all of a sudden,
right.
My teacher, he hated that. He's like, that's going to put drummers out of work.
And it didn't.
And now, well, it didn't. It didn't. Right. But if you fast forward that mindset to now, there are, any of us, yourself included, if you're able to know the the right prompts
Right.
to tell it.
Right.
Give me X, Y, and Z. I need a chord progression of
Yes.
1/6.
Yes.
It'll spit out exactly what you needed
Right.
to in a fraction of the time. Because
Right.
you could do it. You're a musician.
Right,
You're a trained
right.
You could do it.
Right,
You could
right,
sit
right,
down
right.
with just in a
Right.
fraction of that time. Though you're able to produce something that's quality.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like I said, I'm not fighting the AI at all because, like I said, as I've told you a lot of times, because you and I have a lot of conversation, and as soon as an idea come, I always share it with you as a fellow musician. I use AI to do a lot of things. Even the setup here, a lot of times I'm having some technical issues, and because I don't have a paid assistant, so I have to go to my, and even some of the custom GPT I build, I ask specific questions, and I specifically ask it to provide the answers in layman's terms because I want to understand. And it does, and a lot of stuff. Even the basic setup, even to format, even the thing it is the recorder here. I'm like, how do I format SD card, stuff like that, and it helps. So I'm thrilled that AI is here. It's making my job so much easier.
Sure.
And I don't want to make things complicated. I like things easy going.
But see, that's the right way to approach it. I think. I don't know. I think the right way, because that goes across all fields. Think about all the automated things that are now going to be coming into play in the next decade or whatever.
Right.
You can't, like, I know a bunch of teachers.
Right.
Kids in school nowadays.
Right.
Nobody writes a book report anymore.
Tell me about that.
You remember sitting in the library and looking at the encyclopedia and copying stuff and doing whatever. Kids don't do that no more. They say, I need. Give me a paper on this. And so then when the teachers grade it, they now have tools to run it through an AI and say, was this written by an AI?
Yeah.
So at what point does it, get, and then I've heard stories of teachers that use AI to grade the papers.
That's right. Well, like I said, I hope AI is not going anywhere.
When it's used correctly, I think, like you're saying, like when you use it as a tool, like we can't fight it. You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. You can't put the genie back in the bottle. Like it's here. And it's how somebody approaches it and uses it.
Yeah. I'm going to use this analogy. So I'd like to use this analogy when I'm comparing the AI to everything else. You remember Blockbuster years ago when they didn't want to move at the time? I know they're out of business. So these people that complaining about AI, if they don't move it, then they'll be stagnant. They're not going anywhere. So I'm telling you, you know what I mean? Like I heard when television was invented.
Same. Right. With every technology, with every new technology, and also too, like there's that element of like the older generation is going to look and say like, this is poison, and this is wrecking society. But these kids, like my kid, like she grows up with this. She learns how to use it appropriately, properly, like while also studying and doing the work. The I don't know. The fear for me is that the work stops happening because you don't need to do it. So a kid that not doing their book report. You don't learn nothing. You're supposed to learn about George Washington or whatever it was, or you know what I mean. Whatever the subject matter was. If you just pressed the button and moved on, how long before the guy operating on you is schooled like that, or the guy flying your plane is schooled like that?
It's a fun you talk about that, because obviously we're going to be on this AI a little longer because I guess that's a subject that I'm kind of passionate about too. But well, as far as young kids though, especially with like kids grow, I think it's parents' responsibility to kind of help me, because I know sometimes a parent may be busy and they may just put like an iPad in front of the kid though, that is kind of
nonsense.
Because one of my daughters was telling me about there's certain cartoon stuff. I forgot which one, and I don't even if I remember the name, I probably wouldn't call it. That it's like the kids get addicted because the colors they use are so bright, something like that, and you got to be careful. That you got to be careful of. The next thing your kid is like, what kind of kid is I'm raising?
Well, you hit the nail on the head, man. Parenting is everything, and I don't know. I mean, everybody does their own thing, but I don't want to be judgmental, but I don't know. My parents were they were big on tough love as
Right,
well
right.
as they were big on the regular love. But the
Right,
tough
right.
love sometimes is more important than
Right,
you know what I mean? You need somebody to tell you to knock it
Oh,
off.
yeah. Oh, without a doubt. Then.
And you need somebody to be open your business too.
Right.
You let your kid, like you said, you just give them the iPad
And
like a pacifier.
yeah.
They're gonna explore the wild, wild west
Right.
by themselves.
And when you come on the skid like, that's all they consume the whole day. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
sir.
And
And you wonder why they're crazy.
yeah. It's a man. It's amazing, man. The world we live in today, man. I tell you, man. But thank goodness for music, though, because things brings us right back to music.
Yeah.
One thing with music, though, I've noticed with music, music is just a powerful tool. You have music, and if you want to get to, for example, for me now, if I want to get myself in a certain mood, remember when it just came in, I played that tune from Bob Khan and Protege because that song. There's a couple songs that when I want to feel a certain optimistic, I play a certain song. If you want to feel sorry for yourself, you find, I'm sure there's a song for that will make you feel sorry for yourself. But I'm not into that.
No,
I want to feel motivated. So my guest is coming over. So so you want to get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But music is such a powerful tool, though.
100%.
Sometimes you watch a film and you're watching a film and you find yourself crying. I'm like, the sounds that cause it. That's such an amazing thing, man. So when you find someone that says they don't like music, I'm like, you don't like music.
It's like saying you don't like air. Like
How could someone say that? You know what I mean?
music is the I don't know. To me, it's the universal language. I don't have to speak the same language as you. We don't have to agree on stuff. We just sit down and we can speak.
That is so perfect. You hit the nail on it. Because a few years ago, this Guns N' Roses song, I'm trying to remember that Axl Rose did. I mean, and that's what I would play that song. Was it knock 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 and that?
Yeah.
And there was another one. I'm like, and I could just get in because of the music. You know what I mean? I just found myself just because I get the emotions in that song.
There's something about it, man. It's a very there's a very basic thing too. Like you hit the bass, right?
Yeah.
And if you're standing in front of the bass amp, you feel that.
Yeah.
That's a vibration, right?
Right,
And we
right.
talk about vibes, but
Right.
that's what
Yeah.
the positive vibration Bob was singing about. That's that positive vibration.
I'm telling you.
Because it rattles
Yeah.
your cells. So
Right.
music is not something we just experience
Right.
through
Right.
our
Yeah,
hearing.
yeah.
We feel it through every cell in our body. That's why when you hear that song that reminds you of that thing, you might shed a tear, or you might, like you said, get pumped
Right.
up, or that's
Right,
what
right,
I
right.
think. Anyway, I think you're getting
Exactly.
that.
Yeah, I think I just remember the song from the other song from Axel.
Patience. That's it. Yeah, there it is.
I'm like,
there it is.
what is that? Why am I feeling that when I'm
Yeah.
in? And like you could hear he's getting into the song. I really felt that song.
And that's that honesty thing too. When you're singing from a place that's true,
Right.
I think it translates across all genres, across all age groups, across because there were songs my daughter will listen to
Yeah.
that were written in my father's time,
Right.
and why
Yeah.
are they still dope?
Yeah.
Why does it still pop? Why is it still
I'm gonna tell you a funny story there. Yeah. Interesting story. It is Russ is my course or where this story. I'm not even sure. But I may have shared it with you before because I share a lot of his musical support. If I did, you remind me. Growing up in Jamaica, I mean, yes, I was a bass player. I started becoming a bass player, I think, in the late 80s, right? But when I moved there, right, I wasn't a huge fan of Bob Marley. And when I tell people this, they find it hard to believe.
Sure.
But I'm being honest, right?
Sure.
I wasn't, it was, the artists I used to listen to in Jamaica during that time growing up was like Dennis Brown, Third World, Aswad, and a bunch of those are the kind of what would get me going, especially Third World. But man, it was fine. I knew it was there. Never really appreciated it. When I had had to start listening to Bob tune, I think it was when some guys were looking for a bass player when I was living in the Bronx at the time to join the reggae band. And when it reached out to me and, I said, yeah, I do play the bass. And say, any Bob? So I said, no, really. So they said, well, the gigs we're going to get are going to be on Long Island. And these folks, that's all they want to listen to. So, man, at the time, Ziggy Marley had just put out his Tomorrow's People. I had to get that, buy that, and I'm listening to all of a sudden I became, and now, listen, I'm from Jamaica, right?
Yeah.
But I'm just keeping it 100. I'm not going to, no,
that
I
is,
wasn't.
That is weird. Like, that does seem odd.
I was not.
Like, you know, yeah.
I never even seen Bob live. No, I wish I did.
Yeah.
Because I've met people who say, oh, you have seen Bob. I said, I've never even seen that. I had the opportunity.
And he was around there at that time. Like, that's
so
crazy,
weird.
man. Yeah.
So I had to start listen to Bob. And then I became a huge Bob fan, even in the band, even though I wasn't the lead singer.
Especially the bass. I mean, Family Man is the, you know.
I was actually instrumental in picking some of the songs for the band. I thought, get up, stand up,
yes,
and what? Then I became a huge fan. You know what I mean? But sometimes I look back and say, what did I miss? Why wasn't I on that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
I mean, Family Man is probably he is
the
so many songs. Like, and I mean, maybe because I'm a drummer. Like, for me, I lock with the bass player.
Right.
So those bass lines for me, and then I didn't discover Bob until I was probably like in high school.
Oh, okay.
And then I really wasn't on. I mean, my teacher, the styles I was learning was more big band jazz.
Right.
And then the stuff I was listening to was a lot of rock and roll, but also hip hop. And also, you know, I was everywhere. I was all over the place, but really didn't get into like that one drop style of drumming.
Right.
And that blew my mind. Like, once I figured that, because you listen to songs for a while, but then sitting down and playing it is a whole nother animal. But Family Man was always the Don, man. All those, you know.
Yeah.
Enough respect.
Well, in Jamaica, just so you know, in case you're not worried, the main ingredients in reggae music is the drum and the bass.
Yeah.
You're the drummer, I'm the bass player. That's the main ingredient. What's the main ingredients in a reggae? In reggae? Drum and the bass.
100%.
That's the foundation.
100%.
Slide on by Robbie Shakespeare. That's it.
It's like peanut butter and jelly.
I'm telling you, man. You know, so that's why we're gonna rearrange this stuff in here one of these days, and we're gonna, you know, get some stuff down, and
I actually I played in a bunch of different brands and stuff, and there was this one festival we played with the Wailers.
Yeah.
And this is like 2007, 6, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
So it's the Wailers. Like, it's a bunch of guys, and there were a couple of guys that were connected, Family Man being one of them.
Okay.
Ashton Barrett was the guy playing the bass. So long story short, we're playing early in the festival. They're the headlining group.
Right.
And the Wailers occupied what used to be our green room, the band room.
Yeah.
There's a bathroom back there. There's its own private little area for the band. For the pre-show and post-show. I was packing up my gear and I cut my hand pretty good that I needed to go to the bathroom to wash it off and wrap it up. You know, it's a good little, I was going to grab one of my bags and the metal cut me. So I go walking up to the band room.
Right.
Because I didn't want to go to the public with all the, bleeding. I don't want to do that. So I walk upstairs to the private bathroom, and there's their bouncers standing out in front.
The bouncer, yeah,
and he's like, "You can't come in." And I'm like, I show him I had a pass that said I was part of the talent that day or whatever. And I showed him my hand. I said, I know, man. I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to bum rush the band. I just want to wash up in the bathroom.
Yeah.
He's like, all right. He opened the door for me. I went right into the bathroom.
Yeah.
It smelled lovely in there.
Yeah.
the whole band room, I'm saying, smelled. They were getting loose in there.
Yeah.
So I clean up and I wrap up my hand and I come walking out of the band room again, trying to just not be invasive. I don't want to. It's their space. I don't want to bother them, even though I'm a huge fan.
Yeah.
As I come out the door, there's Ashton Barrett standing right in front of me.
Yeah.
He was a short man.
Yeah.
And I just froze. I was like, and my right hand was cut. So I didn't want to give him a bloody hand to shake.
Yeah.
So I kind of stuck out my left hand, and I was like, "It's a pleasure to meet you."
Yeah.
And then he just looked at me and said one word. He just said, "Right." And that was it.
Yeah.
And that was like I left, and I was like, "Man, I shook the guy's hand who played those bass lines."
Yeah.
And that was
legendary, man. Yeah.
To me, just such an honor, even though it was a rough experience with the hand.
That was on Long Island here, right?
No, New Jersey. That was out in Ortley Beach.
Oh.
At a place called Joey Harrison Surf Club.
Okay.
I think it was one of those places that got torn down after Hurricane Sandy came through.
Okay.
Yeah, Ortley Beach.
Okay.
It's like right by Seaside Heights there.
Okay.
On that strip, and it was a crazy. I forget what it was called, Sunfest or Surf Fest or something like that. It was a festival where they had multiple bands.
That's cool. So you've been playing the drums for quite a minute, man.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
cool.
yeah. you start out playing, and then I always wanted to be a drummer,
Right.
and then I met my wife,
Right,
and then I
right,
wanted
right.
to be a dad more.
Yeah,
So,
well,
so the stable job becomes more the thing, and then,
but
you play on the side, and still
you could
teach
still have your family and still, because look at me. I mean, like I said,
yeah.
I'm married. I have grandkid now. I show you a picture. I show you a picture, right?
Blessings,
Okay, so,
man.
Yeah. But I'm still find time to do maybe not as going out as much as we now. So that's why the podcast, it's much better for.
But I mean, look what you created here, man. This is a beautiful space. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
man.
just this is a spot, man. This is a spot. A lot of creativity is going to happen within these four walls.
Yeah, man.
And the fact that you did it with your own hands and sweat. I mean,
I must
the
give a little
best.
thanks to one of my brother-in-law. Him while he was here, he did help me. A lot. It's a funny, while he was here helping me, I was telling him, well, according to the instruction, because I told I use ChatGPT a lot for help with the construction,
Yeah.
and it says, okay, the diagonal measurement should be X plus Y based on the dimensions, the 12 by 12, and it said, well, it's not that, so we got to get that, and that's how much I believe in the. I'm going back to ChatGPT.
Yeah,
again, right?
well, it's interesting you say that too, because there was a report not too long ago on I listened to 1010 Wins on the way into work or whatever. I just heard a quick little blurb about. There was a story that somebody had trusted ChatGPT, and ChatGPT gave it the wrong answer.
Yeah, right.
He gave the guy the wrong answer, and then he wound up looking crazy. He had he thought he came up with a new version of math.
Oh, okay.
And I was laughing at that story, and the guy then. They had the guy on, and he was like, "Yeah, I kind of feel like an idiot." He was like, "I trusted this thing."
When you put in your prompt at the end of each prompt, it always say, "You chat a GPT from time to time may give you incorrect."
Yeah.
It tells you that, so you have the option to go to other sources.
I don't know, man.
You understand what I'm saying?
I want to trust it, but I watched the movie The Terminator.
Yeah.
And at some point, I feel like these machines are going to turn on us, man.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. I think, like I said before, when you use it properly, I think it can be a great time saver,
without a doubt,
and a powerful tool.
Right, just it's different from the app that give you direction in the driving. Yeah. It could tell the driver off a bridge. It says keep going. You're gonna keep going.
Well, how about that? You remembering phone numbers?
Yes.
Now, if you had to tell somebody
your
wife's phone number, would you be able to? Or you know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, I could with my wife. You probably could.
Yes, you're right. But everybody else.
Right, your friend or something like that.
Yes, that's correct.
Even my daughter's phone, shit, that's pretty new.
It's a funny you said that.
I just press the button when I want to speak.
It's funny you said that though, Andrew, because my wife's, at least you have to tell her, you have to go on camera now. I know my wife's phone number, but my kids, I don't memorize it. You know what I'm saying?
If the power went out,
right?
My daughter's phone,
right.
I had to remember we had to remember our wives' numbers before this became a thing.
Right.
But your children's, or say your nephew or somebody, you're not in that contact with every single,
So.
Oh, even my home phone number. I don't use the landline anymore, but I struggle to remember that.
Yeah.
Who uses it?
Every now and again, when I'm doing some business and they ask what's a home number, I kind of look up first, and because I want to make sure I'm giving them the right. And then I give, you know what I mean?
But I mean, that's a small little convenience the smartphone did away with.
Yeah.
And that's not, you know what I mean? That didn't.
Yeah,
everybody's all right.
I hope AI is not messing me up, because I find myself forgetting. For example, when I was setting up prior to you coming, because I was so busy looking for the power cable for the recorder, I was like, I put my phone in. So where's the phone? I'm looking for the phone, and it's right on the table. I'm like, I hope AI. Well, I'm not blaming AI for it, but I'm like, I don't remember where I put it, because I got to get this power cord.
I think you're all right. I think you're gonna be all right.
But even some of these stuff, this AI created these text for the posters too.
Yeah.
I put it in and I have it too.
But man created this. Man created this.
The
molding. All this, man.
Yes.
It looks tight in here.
But
I don't see a robot doing that.
But I'm not taking all the credit. Like I said, I have the visual, I have the idea, but I still, like I said, even with the reason why I like AI so much. For example, even that design on the wall, right? I took a picture when I bought the thing white, and I scanned it and I uploaded into the ChatGPT, and I said, okay, show me the visual, what this would look like before it even go on the wall. And that's the kind of thing I use it for. And then put some other elements around and give me, and then, so that's how you know what I'm saying?
Again, no, you had, you know what I'm saying? That's the proper,
Right.
estimation. That's the proper way to use that, though. It's like
Mm-hmm.
you already had the idea. Yo, should I give it like an A/B? Should I do
Oh,
this
yes,
or should I
yes.
do that?
Right.
I used it to do my garden this
Yeah,
year.
you're
Remember I was
telling me.
telling
Yes, right.
So I had deer. I used to always grow like tomatoes and peppers.
Right,
and
right,
whatnot,
right.
normally in the ground like everybody
right,
else does.
right.
But I had deer jumping over and eating it. And I got a dog. I don't want the deer messing
Right,
with
right,
the dog.
right.
So I cut a bunch of that brush back to keep back the
Right,
deer,
right.
but I also put it in a little portable greenhouse this year. And
Right.
I consulted ChatGPT. It gave me things that I wouldn't have thought of.
Right,
Like it gave me stuff, and again, I gave it like A, B options.
Right.
It would explain why A was better than B,
Right.
and why B sometimes would be better, but because like you know, and,
Right,
and that
right.
I was able to work through my own idea.
Right.
Using that. And
Right,
I think
right,
that
right.
is
Options,
more in
right.
that spirit.
Oh,
Like,
yeah. Oh, without a doubt, man.
you know, rather than just blindly following the thing.
Yes.
Like that guy who thought he
Yeah.
came up with the new calculus or so, whatever he thought.
Yeah.
But you know, you could be. Apparently, he was like, you know, it's a professional guy. I forget if he was a teacher, professor, or something like that.
Yeah.
But he made himself look a fool,
Right.
you know, because he was convinced,
Right.
based on what this artificial intelligence
Right,
had
right.
confirmed for him.
Right.
You know?
Right.
When he had just take the time to do what we normally do is,
Right.
I guess in that field, you pass it to another colleague and say,
Right,
hey,
right.
am I crazy?
Right.
And then they work through it and say, yeah, man, you're crazy. And then, and then you never hear about
Right.
it.
Let's continue on this topic on air because, like I said, I'm not dropping because you know I'm passionate about
So
that.
good.
Because a lot of
Yeah.
time I talk to you about that too.
Yeah.
For instance, even in the medical field, I realized there are a lot of companies like Temp. There's a company TEM that's involved in the AI space, and that's in the healthcare. And one of the reasons why I'm kind of excited about AI in the health field is coming in the health space is that in terms of illnesses, you know, diseases and stuff, if it can help with that. So that's why my mindset is I'm not ruling this thing out.
No,
because you know what I mean?
Neither am I. You know, I'm making a few jokes, but you know,
Yeah.
I don't fear it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I don't think that. I think on that end, it is. I mean, on the if you know chances are you're probably connected to somebody who's
Right.
been affected by cancer
That's right.
in one way or another.
That's right.
Someone in your family, someone you know, a friend of theirs, somebody.
Right.
And cancer is one of those weird ones where there's no one answer.
Right.
You know,
Right.
You hear conspiracy theorists
Right,
talk
right,
about they
right,
have a
right.
cure.
Nah.
It's not like that.
Yeah.
It's, you know, but if AI
Yeah.
can speed up,
Connect something. Yeah, I'm telling
speed
you. man.
up, like we were like, you know, using,
Yeah,
you know,
I'm not in that space, but you know, like I said,
Right.
you know, I'm involved, like because there's a stock involved with that too. I look at too, but when I say, wait, the people really working behind the scenes for that, okay, more power to them. So that's why I'm hopeful. You know,
Yeah.
I'm hopeful in that space, and you know, hopefully things can work out and we all can live, and it hopefully it won't erase a lot of people's jobs too, because I know a lot of people, especially people who do copywriting, people who,
Oh, yeah.
you know, do other stuff.
well, they had
you know.
that writer's strike too. Like all the writers, you know, and that goes to what we were saying before. Like you want to use it as a tool, but you don't
Right.
want it to replace
Right.
creative artists.
Right,
like
right.
be it in the written medium,
Right,
or
right,
musical
right.
medium, or
Right.
or you know, you name the space. Like you can't,
Right.
we can't have everything.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
You know, if we're not creating anymore,
Then yeah, it's like we're stagnant, right?
yeah,
Right.
I don't know. That's like the Matrix.
Oh man, that's so cool, man. That's so cool.
I need to hear a live band every once in a while.
Oh yeah,
feel the kick drum. You know what I mean?
yeah. Well, I can just create the music, but a live band, I don't see. I mean, no, they're gonna. Well, you know,
It's funny. I was on vacation a couple of years ago. My daughter was 6 or 7, and we're walking around, and it's like a beach town. I think we were in the Bahamas. We went to Atlantis, and we're going down the water slides, having fun, and walking down, and they had a little strip of stores, and they had a band playing outside of this one little bar.
Yeah.
And she commented to me, she's like, "Wow, you lit up when you saw the band playing."
oh yeah,
And I was like, yeah. I was like, she's like, you just got real happy when you saw
Right,
the live
right,
music.
right.
And she started getting, you know, she's 6 years old, we're dancing
right,
cute
right.
in the street, you know,
Right,
doing
right,
that thing.
right.
Yeah, I'm just having a good time. But yeah, live music does something to us.
Oh, yeah.
It's important that I think we have it and it don't go away, you know? Like,
You're right about it. I talk about vacation. Now I gotta go. A few years ago, I think it was 2018. My wife and I went on this cruise. That was only cruise. I wouldn't say the first cruise, the only cruise we went on. And initially, I wasn't all that thrilled about going on a cruise because I've never been on one before. I just imagine it being boring.
Yeah,
But-
and you're stuck.
But it turns out that they had, on the cruise they have live bands, and they had this band. It's Jamaican. These musicians are Jamaicans, but they're playing American music, and they have. I think I told you that story, and I think they have another band. Is from another. Not sure what Caribbean island. They play the reggae. I'm like, wait a minute. You have these musicians are from I'm not sure which of that's Caribbean, but another island. They play the reggae, but the Jamaicans are the one that play the American music. And it so happened that the Jamaicans, they were the one playing. It was Earth, Wind and Fire night. I don't know if I told you that, but Earth, Wind and Fire was always my favorite American
they're great.
band.
Yeah, they kick.
I'm like, they're singing these songs, man. I had the best time on that. cruise.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, man.
That's what live music
Earth,
will
Wind
do.
and Fire, man. I mean, not the real Earth, Wind. But they did a good job.
Yeah.
And the live music, it was phenomenal.
And that's something special too. I mean, you've been on stages before too. Like when you're playing music and you look out there and you see them all
Yeah,
jamming
oh.
and grooving. There's that energy volley that goes back and forth between the crowd and the stage, and there's nothing like that, man. That's what it's all about.
I tell you, man, music is just a powerful. Even when I'm watching some of the YouTube stuff and I'm looking at some of these performing, I look at the audience and wow,
Yeah.
I'm looking at the huge audience. I'm like, wow, this is.
You know what's disheartening though too is sometimes you see that and everybody's got their phone up trying to record the thing. It's like, just experience it, man. You're not gonna, you know what I mean? Just
Well, it's.
But it's the wave of the future. That's just me
It's-
being an old man.
yeah,
I'm an old man. Like these kids today, like
I guess it's different now, right. It's a different era now. Like with phone now, 20, 30 years ago, nobody had no phone stuff.
Right.
So it's
right.
a different culture.
And somehow
man.
we all survived.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a big push in schools to remove
The
cell
phone.
phones.
Yeah.
And there's some parents that are up in arms about it. Like, well, what happens if I need to get in touch with my kid?
yeah.
But like, I don't know. We went to school, and our parents got in
Yeah.
touch with the school if they needed to. I don't know.
Yeah. But I think it's with school shooting thing again.
Yeah, I think you're right.
spotted that
I
there.
think you're right. I think you're right. That's an element that wasn't there when I grew up.
Yeah,
you
so
know?
that's the part where the kind of
Which is wild, man. Like I even when my daughter was in elementary school, I remember going up there, she
Yeah.
forgot something or whatever. I had the day off. I went up there to
yeah.
drop her book bag off
Right,
or whatever
right.
it was. And you got to walk into this airlocked
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
I'm saying that like I'm thankful that that's there.
yeah,
but
but
it's strange.
I cannot. Yeah.
Bulletproof glass behind the thing. And I got to sign my name. Lady takes a picture of me. Then you know.
But when you have your kid at the place, you kind of say, you know what, I'm
But you
okay
feel
with
secure,
this too.
of course.
Yeah, because
I'm
once
not,
you have,
I'm not criticizing that. I'm just saying that's a weird thing that wasn't there when we were, you know what I mean? Like when I was a kid.
I have my grandson that's going to school soon now. To then, that's something I'm going to have to be concerned about too, because it's just. I mean, I know you can't prevent everything, but man, I mean, there's some. I mean, with the mental part of it, people shouldn't have a gun because they have the men. You don't even know who. It's so hard, man. It's
that whole
what are you gonna
argument,
do?
I mean, I don't have a dog in the fight. To me,
I don't know, man.
yeah, it's
I don't know.
it's scary stuff though. Like who knows too? Like if it's they used to say video games.
Yeah.
Well, why our generation spray painted on the side of a building or broke a window or whatever we were doing.
I don't know.
Now who knows what the influence that people get from these social media platforms can sometimes be pretty dangerous too.
Yeah, interesting. So which brings us to the social media, an era we're living in. Social media, wow,
it's tough.
It's the funny about it because years ago, it's a friend of mine had mentioned to me. I asked that this friend, where he got his news from, and he told me through a vlog. Like I said, wow. Because I said I'm still old school because I'm listening to the regular news on TV for the regular. Because the vlog, I think somebody here but some people they want somebody to interpret, and I'm like, wow. But maybe that's what we're going on. But and I don't know, man.
There was an interesting documentary on Netflix years ago. I think it was called The Social Dilemma.
Yeah.
And it talked about that. It talked about when they made the phones,
Right.
they designed them a certain way. That's why they're all those same shape, same little rectangle.
Right.
That all the apps That little red badge you get when you have a notification that goes in the upper right.
Right.
It's red for a reason.
Right.
It's in the upper right for a reason.
Yeah.
That your phone is watching you while you're scrolling.
Oh my goodness.
And if you talk about, say, one time I was out with my daughter and I was talking about maybe we'll get a basketball net for the front yard, sweetie.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, Dad, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
And we talked about it for a little bit. And then the next time I went online, I pulled up my Facebook or wherever it was and I saw ads for basketball nets.
Right.
And I could buy them right down the block at Sports Authority or Dick's Sporting Goods or wherever. And I was like, wow, that's weird. Like, but it is watching you. It is listening to you. It does feed you the things that it thinks you're interested in.
You're right. It's funny you say that because I remember a few months ago, I forgot what exactly I was researching. And I find it was providing that without me even doing anything. And I mentioned it to my daughter, the one I told her the content to. And I told her, she said, Dad, it's the ones that, because it sees what you're doing on your searches and stuff, and it has an idea. I'm like, oh, is it no that I mentioned?
Yeah.
And I don't know why.
Which, I mean, you could find two ways. You could find that invasive or you could find that convenient.
Right.
Like maybe that's convenient to you. You know what I mean? I kind of find it a little bit creepy. Like,
and then I said to myself,
Like,
well, maybe I shouldn't do the searching on here anymore. And I'm thinking I should go somewhere else. I said,
but again, it's too late. You can't put the genie back in the bottle.
I guess
you know what I mean? Like it's already out. This is it's how we're rolling.
Yeah.
Like there's never going to be a time again where we don't all walk around with computers in our pocket. Because remember too, cell phones were a thing, right? First you had car phones.
Right.
And only like the real fancy had the car phone. Right. And then you had cell phones that were like the size of a military satellite phone.
Yeah, remember when that came out. Yeah, that couldn't,
And then we had just like regular cell phones that you could make a phone call from or you could text from. And texting was a little weird. You had to 3 letters. You had to touch it 3 times to get the letter C.
Right.
And then like, you remember that? And then for some reason, we all also experienced the internet on a computer, on a desktop or a laptop. And you had to go online. That was a thing.
Yeah.
I'm going online.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And now we all walk around with a massive computer in our pocket.
Yeah.
And I don't think we're ever going to go back to a time where it's not that. I think it's only going to advance from here.
Yeah. Things are getting faster and faster too.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing, man. It's amazing. Good stuff.
I want the medical robots. That's the one.
Yeah.
Well, how about like a robot that like when I go to work, I could tell it to mow the lawn and fix that leak in the bathroom.
It's a funny. I saw a robot recently where this woman she's in bed at the hospital or something, and the robot is feeding at it. But the robot is not giving her a chance to chew what she's chewing.
So it's malfunctioning on you.
Maybe I guess they could work it slow. Let the lady chew the stuff first, and then
that could be dangerous.
It's crazy. It's crazy. But man, I guess we've been talking for a minute about how I should have a clock. I should have a clock so I could have an idea.
That's what happens, man.
And so I have an idea. That give me a thought. It's going to be headed out anyway.
Ain't that there?
The time is on it,
right there.
Let me look
on the road.
Yeah, but I wonder. All right, so wonder what time.
49. Like 49 minutes.
Oh, 40. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, man, you got a timer. You're nice. You didn't even know you were nice. Look at that.
Look at that. Check. Mic check 1, 2. Yeah, man. I love this, man. And
you said Dennis Brown before, talking about reggae. Yeah. Dennis Brown was a guy, Barrington Levy schooled me to Dennis Brown. I didn't really know. I knew songs from Dennis Brown.
Right.
But Barrington, like that vein of reggae too. Like, would you consider that, like guys like that, or even Barris Hammond?
Yeah,
like,
Barris Hammond, yeah.
Would you consider that still in the vein of dancehall? Was that more a different type
of
genre?
No.
Like dancehall's more like the Yellow Man, Shabba, Capleton,
right?
That vein, Beanie Man, like.
And the rest, I think they interpret it. They just call it reggae.
Just straight reggae.
Reggae.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
For example, it's a funny because you mentioned the guy, name you just mentioned a while ago, Barris Hammond.
Yeah.
Is actually, Barris Hammond happens to be my wife's favorite artist. For some reason, I'm not too crazy about Barris
Girls love
music.
Barris.
But anyway.
Girls love Barris.
But I'm just saying, my wife is going to watch it and say, what? I didn't know you like Barris. But I was reading something on Barris recently. When you get a chance, when you leave here, I want you to go check out some of his older stuff. When he started out, he was doing something called Lovers Rock.
Okay.
One step Ahead on you.
Oh, okay.
Step behind you. Like
I
a
had
waltz
no
kind of.
idea. Okay.
That's the kind. And then I forgot what.
I gotta check that
when
out.
they switch it up and say, then Barris just move from that and just comes like a lovers rock, or kind of like a lovers rock. Then he moves right into reggae.
Yeah.
After that,
Yeah,
because it
those-
was more like a ballad, American, like
Yeah.
a ballad kind of, Yeah. And then he moved to that. Dennis Brown and the other guys, them is strictly, that's what we
That's
call
straight
it.
reggae.
That's reggae.
Yeah, man.
You just call that reggae. But
that's to me, that's the best music, man, to have on a beautiful day.
yeah.
When you're out there working.
Oh yeah.
You get Barrington come on the Garnet Silk. Tons of artists that.
Yeah.
There was other guys that like. Was it DJ? Was it Dennis Radigan? Radigan?
Radigan.
Yeah,
Yeah. Radigan. I think he was from the UK.
From the
Radigan.
UK.
Yeah.
A DJ guy.
Yeah.
Somebody I knew years ago
Yeah.
that he schooled me to that guy, gave me a couple of
Yeah.
mixtapes of his, and it just had all these artists one after the
Yeah.
next, like he's
Right.
spinning records at the time too.
Right.
And it must have been like a radio show that they
Right,
they
yeah,
just
yeah. Radigan,
they
yeah.
clipped a piece of.
Yeah.
And man, turned me on to so many different artists that just
oh yeah.
you wouldn't hear growing up here in America, like
Yeah.
I guess stuff you kind of grew up with.
And it's fun. Again, me growing up, the stuff I was mostly into, it wasn't dancehall. I'm going to tell you this. No, it wasn't really dancehall. It was really reggae.
Yeah.
Because third world,
Yeah,
that's not dancehall.
No.
Aswad is not dance.
Yeah.
So like I'm saying, Dennis Brown, that's reggae.
Yeah.
Straight. That's what I grew up. And Bob, even though Bob was reggae, it's just the message kind. I was more into, well, the Dennis Brown, hold on to what you've got.
Yeah.
Hold on to what you've got. That kind, yeah. And as a bass play.
Yes, those are the bass lines too. Forget it.
So
Yeah,
that
yeah,
get me
yeah,
going on, that kind of stuff. Bob, like I said, so, I'm not embarrassed to say, I wasn't a huge fan of Bob until I got here. Then it's later on I start getting to the conscious. I listen to the message of the stuff. Then I said, this guy really was preaching the message.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Bob was, that's funny. You would think that like that was like part of
No.
part of your school curriculum.
I could lie that just I've been a fan since I was a kid.
No, it's 100
No,
right
but
there. Yeah.
I think people should be authentic because
Yeah,
you start
100%.
lying now, then they catch up with you. But I thought you said, you know what I mean. But I keep it, and I tell you this too. I'm taking one further. In Jamaica, there was a saying. It is an unwritten rule that when you go to a party in Jamaica, now, right? And when you go to a party to play reggae, American music, whatever. When a certain song comes on, in Jamaica, when you're dancing with a young lady, when that song comes on, you gotta sing it to her, and that song is a song from Earth, Wind and Fire, the song called "Reason." I'm just giving you something.
Okay.
This is an unwritten rule. You may never heard it before,
Okay.
and other Jamaicans said, "I've never heard that before." But in my era, growing up, whenever you go to a party and Reasons come on, you better make sure you're dancing with a young lady and you're impressing her with singing the lyrics that you know the lyrics.
All right.
Whether you can sing or not. So here's what happened to me one day. I'm at this place after work, this place at reggae playing and, co-work, dance and reggae and move.
Right.
All of a sudden, Reasons came on. Reason. You know that song, right?
Time to get loose.
All right. So
Yeah.
I'm like, everybody scrambling on find a young lady. Andrew, when I look around, the song won't get you about 30 seconds. All the young ladies snatched up. You know what I did? I didn't even drive at the time. I took a public transport and I got out of it.
Not gonna be caught without no girl in that song.
I'm like, because I realized they were going to play the extended version, which is like 7 minutes. I can't be standing there 7 minutes waiting around watching. And
That's
when
not
these
a good
guys
look.
sing, and when you dance to the song with young lady, you have to sing the lyrics in our ears.
I
So,
like that. That's smooth.
so I got out. So the following day, this one said, Peter, I left. Where the hell am I hanging around? And I was mad because I was like, how comes I don't know if I was slow or what.
Yeah, it could be. Let's blame the speed.
Yeah.